Everyone, and welcome to the February update, brought to you again by a sick person with a poor quality microphone, onboard microphone. At least this time I don't have the sniffles. I've just been really under the weather, and the details aren't exactly too pleasant, kind of gastro related. But basically, yeah, I'm on the mend, and it's the last day of February, so I thought, look, I'll just sit up in bed a bit and put this video together and put it out there so I can keep this monthly video thing consistent and happening. It's kind of a fun thing to do now that I'm feeling better, to kind of return to normalcy a little and, get back to everything. So I've got quite a few features. I didn't do quite as much as I wanted to because I lost the last couple of weekends to various things like illness, for example. However, I was very productive in the first 2 weekends, so overall it's worked out pretty good, and I don't think you'll be too disappointed, at least not relative to any of the other updates I've done before. What you can see just here first, of course, is your regular old splash screen, but it has been updated a little bit. I don't know if you've noticed that. It's got a little bit of a larger kind of main sprite there for the title. That's just been updated. Let's just go into the game now and have a look at what's new, shall we? Okay, so as you know, of course, we've got our new sprite. I introduced that in the previous video for our guy. Something which you might not have seen before, in fact I'm pretty sure it wasn't in yet, is this thing down here. What's this? It's a guestbook. So this is a new GUI icon that does actually have some functionality. If you click on it now, you see a kind of a book opens like that, but it's blank. The reason it is blank is because no guests have, as of yet, ever visited this inn. And it acts as a kind of a bestiary, however. So as guests visit, what we'll see is that information about this guest type will be added to the book. So here we go. We've just had a commenter here. Ben the Flatulent has arrived. And if I click on that book, there we go. Some info. I'll show that to a second. Here, let's just jump our attention over to here. What happened here? So that's new. Instead of an icon just appearing above his head like before, we now have this kind of nice, clear, crisp shout kind of bubble here. He's asking for some wine, so let's just give him that, shall we? And what's really cool with this guy is that with this feature here is that it's actually baked into. I'm just kind of cheating a bit here, so they're loading very quickly. But it's actually baked into the shader. So no matter how dark the inn gets, right, they're always going to be nice and really white and visible. Whereas previously, when I was drawing it kind of above them, I didn't have that kind of functionality. So each one of these has its own light, which is detected by the shader that makes sure it's never affected by how dark it is. What they do, of course, is it makes it easier to tell, alright, somebody wants something. But it also has the function of allowing you to know when somebody's needs are starting to get really high. Because if you ignore what they want for a while, let's just try doing that, shall we? Do you want some wine? Well, here you go. I'm going to ignore this soldier here for a bit. He wants some wine, but I'm not going to give it to him. I'm just going to take a sip of water. And now he's becoming impatient. The longer you make somebody wait, the more impatient they'll get. And these two guys as well, of course, they've been left standing for quite a while. So they're going to start to want to be shown some seats, which will pop up in a second too. I'll just shift over some mead there. There we go, another peasant. There we go. So you can see now that it's all jagged like this. That's indicating that he's kind of shouting now. He's kind of saying, "Hey, where the heck is my wine?" This guy has asked for a place to sit. Okay, so we're going to give him that too. And that basically just, it makes it easier for you to keep on top of what's going on, who wants what, and this kind of thing. While we're here, you might have noticed when mousing over these characters that the display information now is a bit different. You can see that the faces now have text directly below, and they're a little bit more varied in their names. So I've also updated, this is another change, I've updated how names are done and made it a little bit more complex and cool. And here is our another feature. It's a brand new guest type. Here we go. Jewel the Crone. This is a hedgewitch, and she's our first female character type, and she's kind of in line with the other guests I've had so far, more of a kind of a common type of character who's going to mostly want to drink simple drinks and eat simple foods. She's going to be maybe a little bit more moral, I'm thinking at the moment, than say the soldier, for example, but she'll get on well enough with the commoner. And if we go now, let me just get her some wine. There we go. If I go now and open this book, going back to that, you can see here hedgewitch. So this is the book, the guest book, the kind of the guest bestiary, and there's now 3 entries in this book because we've had 3 guests visit the inn. And that will be, that information will stay there over the day. So as you're playing the game and it's day 5, day 10, day 20, and more guest types have visited, you might end up with 20 pages or so or whatever. And that'll slowly build up the information. So I can scroll through the pages with my mouse wheel, which is obviously the easiest way to do it. But I can't resist but add a little bit of functionality here to the corners of the pages. So you can see there that if I put my cursor over the doggy here, I can click over between them like that. That's really nice. And if I were to click on a guest, like for example, commoner, and open the book, then it's automatically open on the commoner's entry. If I was to open on the soldier and open the book, it's going to be open on the soldier's entry, and again the same for the hedgewitch. So that means whenever you want information on a specific character who's in front of you, you can simply click on that character and then open the book to get that information right away. Something you can see here with the information you're provided is that you have the image of the character, of course. You've got faction information that's all set to none right now. I mean, later the soldier probably would have a faction. And then 2 major features here for our characters: refinement and morality. So obviously the cruder the character, then they're going to want to have more simple foods and drinks and so on and so forth. And morality is going to act more to do with behavior and how well they get along with other characters of similar or higher, lower morality. And you can see here as we scroll through that each character's got a little bit of a difference here. Yeah. So, sorry, I just had to actually paused it there for a second. I had to run off. Feeling a bit better now. So, okay, so, right. Something that I've designed for the way that guests work, that I've been working on in a bit more detail, and I'll kind of reveal further down the road, is that with these different features here of refinement and morality, it kind of forms like a grid. So you have, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rankings from low to high for each one, and you can imagine those going lengthwise downwards like a grid and crossing over. So each character is going to fall in there somewhere in a kind of a unique position, and you'll be able to kind of create this image in your mind, or maybe it'll even be provided in some form in the game a bit better, that'll help you understand just how well a character is going to be able to get on with another character based on these bits of information. So obviously, if someone's got very similar refinement, very similar morals, if they're sitting together at a table, they're probably not going to fight. But if someone's got low refinement and another guest's got very high, or someone's got low morals or very high, it's going to be worse. And if both of them are low, if both of them are very out of whack compared to each other, then you're probably in for a big bit of trouble. So that's the kind of thing that I've been kind of working on behind the scenes, as it were. and it's not really visible in the game per se, but it's definitely been a bit of a fun thing to work on, and along with that, you're thinking about all the different guest types and so on, and about what they might be and where they might fit in this grid, and so on and so forth. It's getting pretty dark, as you can see, and a lot of kind of neglected guests here. really want the various things. You can see here, Miserly Pete's definitely not happy. He's got quite an angry face. Bit of a... Alright, there we go. So let's just show you the final feature now, and we can wrap this video up. So as we get to the end of the day, and we have our end of day fade out here, we now have a new screen, which is a summary of that day. Now, at the moment, all you have is a report of your earnings. So you made 10. It doesn't even say 10 what, doesn't even say. Later, you can imagine that it'll get all kind of fancified bit by bit with graphics, and it'll be a bit animated. For example, gold slowly kind of counting up, a bit kind of Darkest Dungeon style, and there'll be some kind of graphics in the background, some still art or something of your character washing up or cleaning up or whatnot. And you can down here simply save at that point. So it's only ever going to be a save once per day. I mean, you're going to be saving anyway, but it's only a save once per day kind of thing. Or you can keep playing, and then it's day 2. So that's pretty much it. It's kind of a pretty neat little update. There's not a huge amount, I guess, in terms of the raw amount of new content, but some really important systems. So we've got that shout system that we talked about. We've got the new kind of guest book system, the end of day screen, a bit of an updated image here, and I just did a bunch of bug fixing and kind of optimizing behind the scenes, as often happens, this and that. Anyway, so March update, you'll definitely see another character. I want to be doing 1 per month, I think, from here on out as a general rule, as well as a little bit more fleshing out of conversations, like a return to guest conversations, which I think are going to be pictorialized, and they're going to look really cool. I think they'll be a very distinctive part of the style of the games that start to take place. And I'm going to stick with that nice bright white kind of imagery, which I think is somehow quite organically becoming part of the style of the game, as you can even see from this image here as well, for Innkeep. Alright everybody, thanks a lot for listening as always, and I'll see you next time.